Hello viewers. Today I've decided to go for a ride around a lake, and I'm using the bike in mode 2 today to see how far I can go. Most of the trips that I've been on and when I do battery tests have been in mode 3. So today I thought it would be interesting to try it in mode 2 and just cruise normally around the way that I normally go, up hills and down and around, and go past a lakeside, and yeah, we can and measure the battery range that way. Today's route takes me mostly on larger roads, wider roads, and around the lakeside, of course, that's a wide road as well. It's not a mountain road. There is some sections that just go through a small road, but not for a very long time. So the batteries today are 100% charged. I've been using the new power supply, which is absolutely brilliant. Charges the batteries very quickly. Best thing I ever bought. Usually with any new bike, the suspension's quite hard when you first get the bike, and then it softens down over time. But I find this is the opposite with this bike. The suspension is actually getting worse. It's much more stiffer over time. And it may be the type of oil that's used, certainly in the front suspension. So I am going to get around to changing the oil in that to a better brand of oil. I'll use a synthetic fork oil in the brakes and see how they go. It's pretty appalling. Luckily though, today's roads are very smooth, so that won't be such a big issue. The lake where we're going today is famous for eels, and eels are a very popular dish in Japan. You have them like a barbecue style it's almost similar to a teriyaki sauce on top of the eel, which is served on rice. So there's a lot of eel farms around the lake, and then there's also, of course, normal fishing, and then they have a lot of water sports on the lake as well. So the weather today, as I said, is not bad, so maybe we can see a few people out and about on the lake today. I'm just looking at the range on here, and it says I have 170 kilometers remaining. Of course, in mode 2 and mode 1, those readings are absolute nonsense. So we'll use the telemetry data that'll give us a real reading at various points. So again, along here, it's a very nice road, nice and flat for the Super Soco. So if you live in an area, it doesn't really matter if they're windy roads and narrow roads, but if they're flat, it's very good. You get a lot of reasonably good range, especially in the warmer weather. And depending on what time you leave, if you want to go for a trip, if you go a bit early, there's less traffic, so you can go at your own speed, at your own pace. As you can see today, there's no one at all around behind or in front of me, so it's good. I can just travel the way that I want to travel. So this is the start of the road that crosses over the mountain. So it's fairly narrow. Actually, if you're in a car, you can only really fit one car along here. So if you come across a car coming the other way, you have to reverse until you can find a spot to tuck in. So today I've got my Insta360 camera hanging out. So hopefully I can just find a spot to go over if a car comes the other way. But basically this is good for the Super Soco. It's fairly low speed. and even on a big bike you're not going to be going fast at all because you don't know what's coming the other way. So this is an ideal road for the Super Soco. It's narrow, but it's got a nice surface, reasonably good surface, and nice bends and corners, and you can feel the torque of the motor even in mode 2 coming out because you're not going that quick. So it's ideal. So this is the town. This is called Mikabe town. This town, most of the people here are farmers and they do mandarins. So there's lots of orchards around this area. Not in the town of course, but around the outside. But this is the main town that supports the farming industry around here. So this is a typical narrow town road. The speed limit's quite considerably lower, and also the roads are narrower. There we go, there's a good view of the lake from here. They're going just to the other side over there. Now there's paddlers out there in their canoes. The Super Soco is sitting quite happily on this speed around here. It's not too fast actually, but it's keeping up with the traffic easily in mode 2. Just going to pull in over here today. Lots of bikes out. Quite a popular place today. Let's have a look. Oh, there's a Ferrari there too. Here's a good place to stop, so I'll stop and I'll get the video camera out and we'll have a look at everything. So yeah, we'll see you again in a minute. Yeah, thank you. So we're just going to go for a quick walk along here. This is at the Lakeside. So as you can see here, it's a popular place for specialised cars. I've got a Ferrari there and a Bentley, Porsche, a Lotus actually. And then all the guys are out on their bikes today. It looks quite good. Beautiful looking bikes. Hey! ちょっと Lakeside ツーリングいい天気ですねじゃあ、いいね。That's really good today. Let's look, there's a little Honda there as well. I'll get a quick shot of the bikes, eh? Everybody's out today here. It's a nice spot. Very nice location here. いいよ、よいしょ、どうぞ。 McLaren. Excellent. Okay, that's it for the Lakeside. Okay, just before we start, the battery here says I've got 134 kilometers to go, still in mode 2, and we're going to start the next leg of our journey. So along here is a very good road. It's very straight, also runs next to the lake on the left hand side coming down here. This is a great road for the bike. I might be able to pull over just up here and get a quick photo if I can. It's actually this side of the lake, it's very picturesque. See if I can pull in here. This looks like a good spot. Good a place as any. Okay, that was our photo place. We're just going to continue along here. Just wait for these cars to go. So our next point of call is the mountains. We're going to go to the end of this road and then it starts up to a mountain climb, and it takes us along a ridge line, and that's where I'm hoping to go today. We'll stop up at the very top of the mountain and get some photos there. So far the range is looking okay. It says I've got 130 kilometers to go. I'll quickly flick it to mode 3. That gives me an accurate reading, 72 kilometers, so that's realistically what I have to go, which I think is actually quite good. And I think the reason for that is basically the weather today. It's warm, so anything around 24 degrees and over, the Super Soco batteries love it. We are back in mode 2 again, so that's okay. All of these hotels around here are all for the visitors, the tourists that come, that go to the lake. So it's a big tourism industry around here. This is a very slight uphill slope, but still in mode 2 it's quite reasonable in the Super Soco. It's pulling reasonably well. I'm just sitting here, the throttle's just in one position, it's just cruising along quite nicely. I don't feel like I need any extra power just along here. The speed is just enough here. It's a bit narrow and a lot of houses, so you don't want to be going too quick. You don't know who's going to be coming out in a car or somebody running across the street, etc. So this is quite fine for this sort of environment, this mode 2. Again, at this slow speed, Super Soco's fine in mode 2 up here behind this slow truck. So it's just exactly the right speed for this. I've still got plenty of torque around these corners even though it's uphill. But at a higher speed there's no way I'd have to be in mode 3. But just for this speed it's perfect. So this is a downhill stretch here, so the bike's using no energy, or very little anyway, except for the headlight. So it's quite good. Range wise, still around 100 kilometers actually, according to this in mode 2. In reality it is about 57 kilometers remaining. And the last 20 is going to be in low power mode, so I should really consider about heading back to my base where I started from, otherwise I'm not going to be able to get there. So we've reached the other side of the road now, of the start of that trip up across the ridge line, and so now we're heading back down. We're heading on the way back now. So hopefully I've still got enough energy to get back before it reaches power saving mode. It should be okay, I think. There's about 20 kilometers to go before I get back. So it's going to be pretty close. As the power gets down, you can notice it's a little bit sluggish going up hills. It's not too bad. I don't mean, you know, it's like you're in low power mode or anything, but you just notice the response goes down as the voltage goes down. You're not giving the motor as much voltage, so it doesn't feel as torquey as it does when it's at least, you know, 80%, 75 to 80% an overcharge. This is a nice long downhill stent. So I got my hand off the bar and it's just cruising down here. Just a quick look here. Still says around 51 kilometers remaining. So I should have just enough to get back before it gets into low power mode, which is excellent. It's not far now. maybe 15 kilometers to go, I guess. So around 40 up this slope here, it's pulling pretty good. I've still got torque. I think if the cars were going a lot faster than that, it'd be a bit of a strain with the lower battery voltage, but yeah, sitting on this speed at the moment up this hill, it's perfect in mode 2, no problems at all. I don't feel that I need to go any faster. If there's a motorist behind me, I don't feel like I've got pressure to go faster or to pull over or whatever because the bike's too slow. It's a perfect speed. So that's quite reasonable, I think. I guess I've got about 10 kilometers to go before I get back, or maybe a bit less, 8 perhaps. So I'm pretty sure I can make it back all right, actually. Whoa, don't want to crash into those cars. So we're going to turn right just up here. This is the penultimate road that takes us up to where we started our journey from today. And once I get there, I'll stop and then we'll have a look and see the range that's left on the bike, and we'll work out how far we've gone, and I'll put that up. Obviously it'll be on the telemetry data, and then I'll also put it up on the top of the screen itself about the maximum range that you can do with the 2 batteries in mode 2. Okay, this is the steep part here. We'll just see how it goes. Well, it's pulling up nicely. I don't seem to have any issue at all, but it's not in the power save mode, so that's the key part here. I've still got enough power to get up this slope here, and I'm not sort of pushing it any not making it want to go faster. It's a bit bumpy, the road, so yeah, it's reasonably good. Narrow spot around here, we'll just get around here and then we'll be just about finished. So just got 2 more corners to go and then we've arrived at our starting place. So I'm just going to stop here and then I'll check the range and then we'll see how far we've gone today. I'll put that up on the screen. So yeah, it's been good. Okay, so this is exactly where we started from. So in mode 2 it tells me I have 54 kilometers remaining, which in reality it's 30 kilometers remaining. So with 2 batteries you go into low power mode at 20. So I made it back with 10 kilometers to spare. But even if you include the low power mode, you've got another 30 kilometers plus whatever the telemetry data says. So basically I'll put the total possible that you can do on this Super Soco in mode 2. As you've seen today, it's normal road conditions. There have been long straight roads and quick roads and around the lakeside and then across the mountains, which are narrow roads at low speed. So it's a good variety, but it's real world riding. So that's what you would expect in mode 2 with a 2 battery bike. So thanks for watching today. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you again next time. So thanks very much, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.